We will begin the press conference by Foreign Minister Motegi. Minister, the floor is yours. Thank you. So we're now back to the original room. The panel at the back is not the global map yet, but thank you for coming. Yesterday, there was the G7, I came back from the G7 Foreign Ministers meeting that took place in Canada. Regarding the Foreign Ministers, G7 Foreign Ministers meeting and bilateral meetings, Mr. Kanda has given you the explanation in the press conference. But at the outset, I have two issues to report to you. First of all, Japan-Indonesia 2+2. Next week on Monday, on the 17th of November, the third Japan-Indonesia 2+2 foreign and defense ministerial consultations will take place here in Tokyo. The Japanese government will be represented by myself and Defense Minister Koizumi, whilst the Indonesian side will be represented by Foreign Minister Sugi Ono and Defense Minister Shafri. At the second Japan-Indonesia 2+2 meeting, I participated as the foreign minister. And after the upcoming 2+2 meeting, I plan to have a working dinner with Foreign Minister Sugi Ono. Through these consultations, we plan to confirm the alignment of our recognition on the international security environment, which is becoming ever more severe, check on the progress of Japan-Indonesia security and defense cooperation, and discuss how we can further enhance our partnership as we strive to realize a free and open Indo-Pacific.
Another point. In relation to Gaza situation, Ambassador Okubo Takeshi, he is a diplomat, and I appointed him as the ambassador in charge of supporting Gaza reconstruction. As I expressed during the G7 Foreign Ministers meeting this week, Japan will play an active role in addressing the recovery and reconstruction of the Gaza Strip. This is the basic policy. As part of that effort, former diplomat and also the person who has worked in the area, Ambassador Okubo Takeshi, I appointed him as the ambassador in charge of supporting Gaza construction. Ambassador Okubo Takeshi have abundant working experience in both Israel and Palestine. At the end, he served as the ambassador to Lebanon as well, leveraging his expertise in personnel connections. I hope that he will work hard to help reconstruction of Gaza and build a governance mechanism. I hope he'll make a great contribution. That's all from me.
Those of you who have questions, please raise your hand. When appointed, proceed to the microphone, identify yourself and your affiliation before going into the question. Uemura-san of Yomiuri Newspaper. Uemura of Yomiuri Newspaper. Thank you very much. On Prime Minister Takaichi's response at the Dai regarding survival strengthening situation in the Taiwan Straits, China's Foreign Ministry spokesperson Lin Jian in the press conference on the 13th condemned Japan with strong language, citing China's position on sovereignty and memory of history. On the same day, Chinese Vice Foreign Minister Sun Weidong summoned the Japanese ambassador in China and demanded the retraction of Prime Minister Takaichi's comment. I assume that the Japanese side is stating that the destabilization of the Taiwan Straits would have negative impact to Japan's security. I think that's what the Prime Minister was trying to say, and she's not referring to the issue regarding sovereignty. What do you think about the gap between China and Japan on such assertion and perception, and the strong reaction by China? And they summoned Ambassador Kanasugi. What's your take on that? I am aware of the comments made at the press conference by the Chinese Foreign Ministry, and regarding Prime Minister Takaichi's response at the Diet, Yesterday, from the Chinese side, there was a complaint lodged to Japanese Ambassador Kanasugi, and our ambassador clearly rebutted and explained once again the position of the Japanese government and the intent behind the response made by our Prime Minister. At yesterday's press conference, I touched upon this issue, and the Japanese ambassador once again told the Chinese side that it was extremely inappropriate for a leader of a delegation as China's Consul General in Osaka making such a posting. We lodged a very strong complaint and asked for appropriate response by China. As we have confirmed at the recent Japan-China summit and the Japan-China foreign ministers' telephone consultations, we will strongly continue to ask the Chinese side to take appropriate responses so that it does not cause any negative impact to the overall Japan-China relationship. At any rate, Taiwan Straits. The peace and stability of Taiwan Straits is important not only for the security of Japan, but for the stability of the global community. And this point has been repeatedly mentioned. We truly hope that the issues regarding Taiwan will be peacefully resolved through dialogue, and this has been the consistent and unchanging position of the government of Japan. And this position of the Japanese government is exactly as is written in the 1972 Japan-China Joint Communique.
Next question, please. Sankei Nagahara-san. Nagahara Sankei, thank you very much. As you mentioned earlier, I have a question regarding social media post by Chinese Consul General in Osaka. Both opposition and governing parties are raising voice demanding persona non grata designation. Is there any cases where Japanese personnel have been designated as persona non grata, and conversely, cases where Japan received such designation? And I would like to seek your views regarding this social media post. I think you had two questions, and I would like to take up the second question first. The Yomiuri newspaper's question earlier, I think there is an overlapping response to that question too. And between Japan and China so far, we have confirmed that the overall direction of promoting mutual beneficial relations based on common strategic interest and also building a constructive and stable relationship. And this was also confirmed during the Japan-China summit meeting last month, and also when I had a telephone conversation with my counterpart, Wang Yi, before that. So based on this overall direction, at the various level, we are going to promote further strengthening of communication on a broad basis and to try to reduce challenges and concerns and increase understanding and cooperation. That is our policy. It is against this backdrop that the social media posting that you mentioned made by Chinese Consul General in Osaka, as I have been saying earlier, this is an extremely inappropriate remark as the head of the diplomatic mission. So the MOFA and also Japanese embassy in China made a representation that such remarks are extremely inappropriate. We strongly protested and demanded immediate deletion of this posting. And we are demanding Chinese side to respond appropriately. And I understand partially this posting has been made inaccessible. And repeatedly, this Consul General in Osaka made such inappropriate communications. This is highly regrettable, and such inappropriate communication is regrettable. Therefore, we asking China to appropriately deal with this matter so that it will not affect the overall direction of our bilateral relationship. This is what we are going to continue as well. In persona non grata past cases, we designated 4 cases, and also other countries designated our officials in 2 cases. More specifically, in the past, Japan designated the embassy staff in Japan as persona non grata in the following cases. In 1973, the first secretary of the Embassy of the Republic of Korea in Japan, and 2006, attaché of the Embassy of Cote d'Ivoire in Japan, 2012, ambassador of Syria to Japan, and 2022, Russian Consul General in Sapporo. These are the 4 cases of designation. On the other hand, after the World War II, Japan, the foreign embassy staff has been designated as a persona non grata in the following 2 confirmed cases. 2012, ambassador of Japan to Syria, and 2022, consular officer of the Consulate General of Japan in Vladivostok.
Next question, please. Kyoto News, Onda-san. Onda of Kyoto News. Thank you for this opportunity. My question is with regards to China and the espionage law. Beijing's High Court on the 13th rejected an appeal by veteran Chinese state media journalist Dong Yu, who was charged for espionage alleged to have provided information to a Japanese diplomat and upheld 7-year jail term. The original ruling handed down by the Court of First Instance in November last year listed Japanese diplomats who were acquainted to Dong, recognizing them as agents of an espionage organization, and deemed the Japanese embassy in China as an espionage organization. Can you share your reaction? And what do you think about the lack of transparency over procedures regarding espionage charges in China? We are currently trying to confirm the facts, including the ruling by the court. Having said so, disclosing specific details regarding diplomatic activities by our government may hinder the future diplomatic activities, and therefore I refrain from making such comments. Not that we're doing anything wrong. All the diplomatic activities that our diplomats are conducting are all legitimate tasks and activities as diplomat, no doubt about that. Now, regarding the counter-espionage law of China, we have repeatedly been requesting the Chinese side for transparency. At the very end, they have this section regarding other espionage activities. There's ambiguity, and there's lack of transparency regarding execution of law and judicial process. So we've been asking for securing transparency regarding the administration of the law. The transparency level is still insufficient, so we will continue to request the Chinese side to make appropriate steps.
Next question, please. Phoenix TV Lee is my name. Earlier, in addition to the previous questions, the China has been making a protest to Japanese side. During this protest, China requested the retraction of Prime Minister Takaichi's remarks. Regarding this requested retraction, Japan denied that request. Is that right? And in earlier remarks, the Japan categorically refuted. So could you specify, clarify what kind of refutation you made to which side of assertion on the side of China? This is a diplomatic exchange. I would like to refrain from making a specific comment. Prime Minister Takaichi's remarks, its intent and the purport, survival threatening situation, what are they? And also in what kind of cases survival threatening situation will be recognized and to be invoked. These matters have been explained. Regarding this, already we have a peace legislation enactment. Since that time, during the deliberation and even after that, we have been explaining fully what our views are, and our views have not changed in that sense. Therefore, that is our own stance, as we explained, and the China's assertion is not appropriate, is not correct. That is what we said in our refutation. And did you deny the refutation request? Well, the Prime Minister Takaichi and our position on our part, our explanation in relation to peace legislation in terms of the survival threatening situation, we have clarified that our position, and it is not at all against international law, and we had a thorough deliberation in the Diet before the enactment of this legislation. Therefore, naturally, we don't need to retract the previous remarks.
Next question, GG Press. Chiba of GG Press. Different subject. Regarding JICA JOCV, this year marks the 60th anniversary and ceremony was held yesterday. What's your assessment of the 60-year track record? And there was the JICA Africa Hometown Initiative recently, and it's a reality that it's become difficult to secure the understanding of the Japanese people on the importance of people-to-people exchange and development cooperation. Can you share your thoughts on the necessity of overseas development cooperation? Yesterday, in celebrating the 60th anniversary since the establishment of the Japan Overseas Cooperation Volunteers, under the presence of their majesties, the grand ceremony to commemorate the 60th anniversary was held. During the past 60 years, the JOCV has truly worked hard. They've gone to remote areas where livelihood is very difficult. And they've tried to provide support in terms of industry, agriculture, and cultural activities. And they have been the implementer of development cooperation with a Japanese face. And they have contributed to establishing trust and bonds in the global community. When I go overseas, in my previous term as foreign minister and on other occasions, I've had the opportunity to meet with JOCV youth members on the field. And they really are working in difficult circumstances, but they have very strong determination and they're making all-out efforts in providing support. And they talk about that joyfully, and they seem to be very happy, and I was so impressed. The trust that we gain from our counterparties regarding the Japanese-style development cooperation is an invaluable asset for Japan's diplomacy, and the JOCV experience and those who have experienced JOCV activities. After they graduate from JOCV, they leverage their experiences and are active in diverse areas. So we highly appreciate their contributions. And in Bolivia, at the city assembly, there was a woman who used to be a member of the JOCV. It's Bolivia high altitude, but she's very active as a city assembly member, and she is very much highly appreciated by her colleagues. So many people have worked hard in Latin America, Africa, and other regions as JOCV. And there are people who stay overseas. There are people who return to Japan. And I think that the Japanese people evaluate them highly. And they are working on the ground, and they are highly evaluated by the neighborhood of those people where the projects are taking place. And on the necessity of development cooperation, through development cooperation, contributing to peace and prosperity of the global community would directly lead to securing a stable supply of resources, and it is serving to the national interest of Japan through further prosperity of Japan and peace and stability of Japan. We will continue to effectively and strategically leverage ODA and make responses to important challenges, including economic security challenges, try to seek progress as we strive to establish a free and open Indo-Pacific that meet the needs of the times, and continue with cooperation that truly meet the needs of the Global South countries. Thank you.
Any other questions? I made a mistake in earlier persona non grata questions. Earlier, our designation of foreign officials, the third one, that is 2012, I said Russia, but that was a Syria ambassador in Japan. The Japanese character Nichi looked like Russia. 1973, First Secretary of Embassy of the ROK in Japan, 2006, Attaché of the Embassy of Cote d'Ivoire, and 2012, Ambassador of Syria to Japan, and 2022, Russian Consul General in Sapporo. These are the 4 cases where we designated foreign officials as person non grata.